Hello and happy Tuesday. It's great to have people popping in already, and hopefully my iPad will pop in too so that I can see your guys' comments and get caught up with that too. So thanks always for your support on this live and then watching replays. I've been getting so many comments, so that's great. I know you guys are listening and watching. Hi, Lisa. So today is card number 2. Hi, Sherry. Today's card number 2 for Angie Meza's virtual stamp party, and kind of going with a fall theme. Hi, Tori. Thanks for joining in. So yesterday was Halloween, and today I'm doing fall. And if you know me, like if there was such a thing as fall colors blooming, I would have a whole garden full all year round if I could. So I love fall, and so I'm really excited about today's card and how it came together. So card number 2 for Angie's party is this. So I love all the fall colors on it, and kind of just a little bit of shimmer shine in the ribbon and the foil behind there too. So if you like to do fall things like I like to do fall things, this is a card for you, and it comes together really pretty simply. And it's something that I hope that you can get inspiration from and use different papers and cardstocks and colors and maybe tweak it and do maybe different focal points and different things like that too. So hopefully that will inspire you to create something else or more of something like this. Thank you, Lisa. So where I'm getting this from is the stamp set Harvest Hellos, and this is from actually the annual catalog. I've been doing so much from the new holiday catalog, the August through December catalog, that I don't want people to forget about all the fun options still from the annual catalog too. So that's where I'm pulling the Harvest Hellos. And also here I'm gonna grab the punch too. Hi Julie, thanks for joining in. So Harvest Hello has a coordinating punch. And so what I like to let you guys know is last year this was super popular in the holiday catalog, and if you got the stamp set and the punch, there was a 10% savings. And so after it kind of goes on, then they still, if things carry over, oh hey, it's like a party with Tori. There's Angie, Jill, and Chris and Tori watching together, and it's Angie's party. So it's kind of like a party is happening within a party. So that's great. Thanks, guys. So I hope you guys like the card because you're all gonna get it. So, okay. So what I want to remind you about is that when you order things like this that go together, you usually get a 10% savings, bundle pricing. But then after things get carried over, often then what happens is you can still get the stamp set, you can still get the punch, but they're not 10% savings. So if you're looking through, say, the current catalog, annual and holiday, and you think, oh, I'm kind of on the fence about this, but I know I'm gonna eventually want it, consider getting it sooner than later because of the 10% savings. That's I'm always disappointed also if I think, oh, I just want the punch or I just want the stamp set, and then I know that down the road, I've learned this lesson after several years that I'm going to want one or the other, and I will have wished that I would have got it right away together and got the 10% savings. So there's no 10% savings because these are an older pair of things. So this is called the Apple Builder Punch, but I'm gonna make it into a pumpkin today. So let me get my camera switched around, and I kind of want to show you about my inspiration and such with putting this together. So let's see, and Chris is watching, so it's like you guys are together but watching on separate devices. How fun is that? Okay, so let me get my iPad there and get my supplies kind of around. So I want to show you once again the card straight away so that the give thanks isn't in reverse image and such. Honestly, when I look at the Harvest Hellos stamp set, my favorite image probably out of the whole stamp set are these cute pumpkin seeds or apple seeds. It can be one or the other. And so I almost always include them when I make an apple or a pumpkin. So yes, the Harvest Hellos comes from the annual catalog. So that cover there, and it is found on page 89. So there it is all by itself. And then if you are looking, I have my ruler to help me find the punch easier. If you are ever looking through the catalog and you see the images that are cream colored, that means that that is what the punch will punch out with it. So that's kind of helpful. If you see gray, other times you'll see a gray image or something, like on this page it's not related to what I'm doing today, that means that the dies will cut those out. So then I go to page 167, and that's where you will see the cute apple builder punch. So how fun is that apple? But like I said, today we are going to make a pumpkin out of it. Hello, Connie. Thanks for joining in. Must mean that you're off work, which is great. Okay, so to kind of start with how I gathered my thoughts and ideas on the coloring, I pulled in lots of fun textures and papers. So lots of you guys are ordering this new Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper. It comes in a 6x6 stack. And then in the catalog it's listed, but you can kind of see, even though this is tiny print, that there's lots of color combinations. So I wanted to go with kind of a cinnamon cider color, or bring that in, because that's going to be such a fun color to use for fall, and it's one of the in colors. But knowing that there's only 4 sheets that come in a pack, then you might get a card with this, but you also might get your card with more of the peacock color here too, which will look great with pulling in that cinnamon and pumpkin pie color too. So that's what I like about this, is if you're making multiples for projects, you can use some of these different colors and have the same project look that way, but yet if you just want a whole bunch of different cards, it's going to be great for that too. So that comes 6x6. Hi Shelly, thanks for joining in. And then after knowing I wanted to use the Plaid Tidings, then the other things that I'm bringing in that are kind of specialty besides just plain cardstock is some copper foil, and with that new metallic brush cardstock, that would work too. So I think that would be a great option, but just, you're not going to see a lot of this. I am going to run it through my Big Shot, which I'm going to show you the brand new Big Shot. So if you're thinking, should I make supper or listen to Belle, just hold on tight, because I'm going to show you the new Big Shot. Oh my goodness, Carol's joining in all the way from Alaska. Ah, how fun. I loved Alaska a couple years ago, and I love my grandkids, so I'm sure you're having a great time with them. Thanks for joining in, Carol. Okay, so I had the copper, and then next I'm going with the In Good Taste Designer Series paper, and this is that package that had all the different kind of colors and textures and different patterns to it. So I'm kind of pulling out the woodworking one there. So that's how we are starting. So here is my new Big Shot. I hope that I'm going to make sure I have a good angle here for that, maybe even back it up just a tad, because this is a pretty good angle, I hope. This is the new Big Shot. And so when it arrives, it is folded up, and it will make a popping noise, and that is 100% the way it should sound. The only thing you need to do when it comes is the handle comes separate. So behind this little stopper thing, you have to put in your washer and your screw, and the Allen wrench comes right with it. You screw that in, put the topper in, and you are good to go. So I would say weight-wise, when I looked at it and it was white, it just looked so light because of the coloring, and it honestly, it looks so pretty. Seriously, looks gorgeous. I wouldn't say that it's totally lighter, but because the weight's right here, I don't feel like it's awkward. I feel like you can hold it closer to you, and all the weight's right there. So I won't say it's heavier, I won't say it's lighter, but it just doesn't feel as awkward to transport and carry too. Hi Nancy from Rochester, New York. Wow, I got a whole slew of people from everywhere. Okay, so when you go to use it, it will make that popping noise again, and that is just putting it down. And so what I like, as I'm passing things through, you can kind of see the deep sides here, and that really helps keep all of your plates straight as it goes through, because right now Stampin' Up! Doesn't have the magnetic plate. So what they have are all kind of the other plates. And so what I'm going to be cutting out are the layering circles framelets, and just one circle framelit that's pretty straightforward circle, and then in that same set one that will mat it at a little larger size with the scallop. So I'm just going to set that aside for now and talk just a brief moment about the labeled cutting platforms, which is awesome. So hi Tyler, thanks for joining in. So when you get this, all of these are labeled. So I know I'm going to be using a thin die, so I need a number 1. And so I can just put that down. And I know I'm going to need a number 2, which is just a thin die adapter kind of, but it's right there. And I'm going to need 2 of number 3, which these are now numbered. These are the cutting plates. Look how pretty they look when they're brand new. And then 4 I'm not using today. 4 is on here. And that is for when you're using 3D embossing folders. So I love that they have that on this. They have it on here. Everything is so well marked. So I just think it's excellent that way. So I'm just going to put one of my cutting pads down here, and I'm going to run my circle through on my Designer Series paper in good taste. I'm going to see, yeah, this should fit too. Then the little bit larger one on that copper foil. And I'm kind of spoiled because I am used to my magnetic pad where I can put this through and I know everything's going to really stay. But like I said, just having these extra wide kind of fenders on there is almost what it looks like. I just know that it's going to go through well. There's rubber feet, but because I have my stretch paper on here, it'll move with my paper, but not on the paper. So if you see a little bit of movement, that's just how I have it set up. Did you say whether the old plates match the new machines? Yes, they do. So that helps. And all of your dies and all of your folders from previous or other manufacturers will work too. The only thing they had said is if you feel like you're running something from a different or other year that doesn't feel right as it goes through, just kind of play around with maybe adding a shim, or maybe taking this adapter out and putting something else a little thinner through there. But yes, they will work. So the only difference is like these will have the numbers now. And so the other thing too is I had to buy a set of these for my previous Big Shot, and they work just fine. So that question hopefully will answer on both ends, because people might have that, like, is it good for the new? Is the old good for the new? Is the new good for the old? So yeah, so love it, love it, love it. This is probably one of the reasons I'm a little heartbroken again about not seeing people in person as much, just because I would love people to play around with it, lift it, use it, and see what it's all about. So I have my 2 little cutout, my regular circle and my scallop circle there. I'm going to set my dies and actually my whole Big Shot aside here. And then I'm going to go with some stamping. So let's see. I have all my little pieces here. So my card base today is the Early Espresso 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 here. And then just a 1/4 inch less is the cinnamon cider colors. So 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm done with the Big Shot, so I might just kind of try and scoot this down maybe a little bit closer. I don't want it too close, because sometimes then I feel like you don't see as much of the workstation area either. Okay, so maybe I should have left well enough alone. Okay, so Nancy's question is, why wouldn't the old magnetic plate work? I'm not sure, but they had said to not use it. It's in the catalog, kind of a little, and on Stampin' Up's website, a little question and answer. And since I'm featuring this today, maybe I'll go find the video and the question and answer that I posted a while back about that too. So Yeah, and it's one of those things, like if it's not going to fit and if I'm going to have to press things through, I'm going to end up breaking my machine, and I would rather just buy the right thing. And so the other thing I do know is I'm thinking that we can't get well, I do know that we can't get the magnetic platform for it yet, but when it does come out, it's going to be something kind of like this, or the cutting plate for thickness. So it's going to look very different. So like I said, thanks for that question, and I will get the actual facts. I don't know if it says why or why not, but I do know it's going to be a whole different thickness as what we have and are used to right now. So yeah, so great question, and I will do my homework on that for you, Nancy. Thanks. Okay, so before I tape this down or do any putting together, what I'm going to do is take this piece of the Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper. I've cut this 3.75 by 3.75 so that it is a square, and then I'm just going to take this off of there and kind of eyeing it. I'm going to open up my Cinnamon Cider ink pad and then get out these cute seeds. I'm not taping it down, and I'm just going to stamp on there kind of across the top of that, and hopefully, yeah, good. Sometimes I'll move that paper, and then if I'm going as my edge guide, then my seeds are gonna look a little off-centered too, like so. And so I have that going on there like so. So the reason I didn't tack this down is if I were to make a mistake on there, well, then I just flip it over, because we can use the back side, and that works really great. Hi Marilyn, hi Robin, thanks for joining in. So I think I am ready to tape down this, just because that much is done, like so. And then I'll put that on, and then I think next I'm going to start with constructing my pumpkin. And so I'm gonna pull over some Whisper White cardstock here and my pumpkin pie ink pad. So I'm going to ink up my pumpkin and just stamp it like so. And pumpkin pie. So if you know me, I'm always, I'm gonna color it in with my blends. I'm always coloring it in with, stamping with my Memento Black so that I can color it in without any of my ink bleeding and such. So it looks like I got a smudge there. It's on from my thumb. It's like usually when I see a smudge, I'm like, where am I gonna get it next? So I think I got that wiped off. Okay, so next I'm going to pull out my apple builder punch, which works for the pumpkin, and I'm going to pop that in so that I can see where it's positioned, and then give that a good punch, and it'll pop out. And then next I'm going to take my blends, so the light and the dark of the pumpkin, and with this, like anytime I kind of start coloring and go, that doesn't look so great. So I'm using the brush tip just so I can get a lot of color in at one time, and just kind of coloring in most of it, going pretty close to the edges, but I know I'm gonna go over the edges with the dark. So the light I'm just gonna kind of stick with in the middle, and they're alcohol based, so I just put the cover on pretty quickly after I use that, and then I'm just gonna kind of outline and kind of color away from the edges with the darker of my blends. So I just kind of realized too, I haven't used my blends a lot in my live demonstrations, and I love my blends. So I thought, you know what, today I need to find a project that's going to use my blends too. And then I kind of like to tip this and go over those lines that are darker. And so what's fun is that this really turned out okay to color over the pumpkin pie mark or ink pad, and just kind of gives it a subtle look. The black would work fine too. And since I have this, and you can see, like if you're coloring this and you go, you know, that doesn't look too great, Belle, you can go, you know, fifth grader could color better than that, and they probably could. Hi Cheryl. So what I'm going to do is take the light color again with a brush and just kind of go over all of that again, and then it just kind of softens everything, lightens it up, kind of blends it, and then that just kind of also gives it time to set And all of a sudden I was happy again with my pumpkin. So how professional does that look? I just love that that you can color things like that, and it almost looks like you bought something from the store that was pre-colored and everything. That's great. And so next I'm going to go back to my punch and give it a little stem. So I just have a little strip here of early espresso cardstock. So I'm going to feed that in there and take that out. And you could also do like an apple, if you're making the apple, a little leaf there. The stamp set has a little pumpkin leaf too, but I'm just gonna go simple because we're putting a lot of bells and whistles other places. So I'm going to just go with the stem. So I'll just push that onto my glue dot here, pull it off, and then if there's anything sticking out, just kind of round that in there like so. So we have a easy little stem for our pumpkin. And because this is early espresso, then I want to use the early espresso ink too. Hi Stephanie, thank you. Glad to have you on here. You're gonna get this card too. Hi Wendy. So the give thanks is something that I love using with the stamp set, and I'm gonna just kind of, for reference, pull this out again. There are a lot of different sentiments in here, and so if you have a teacher in your life, to an A+ teacher would be great. And you could also just take this whole card and either stamp that out and color a red apple, or just stamp the apple image out on red cardstock and punch that out. And you could do this card completely for a teacher and put on there to an A+ teacher or welcome back. So that would be kind of fun too. So there are other ones that would work. So I'm just going to ink up the give thanks with my early espresso. And I kind of like the early espresso to use that instead of black sometimes. And then it kind of matches the stem really well too. So hello, Mary. Okay, so I've got that. And then I'm just going to assemble these pieces too. So my In Good Taste, and that's what's fun about the In Good Taste. It's got so many different textures together. So the back side of this does not look like it would match the front side. And then this is just my little scallop circle of the copper foil. So I'm gonna put that on there so that kind of sneaks out. You're not gonna see a lot of that. And then I'm going to take, and I think I'm just gonna, put this right on here too. So the foil is pretty shiny, but this will do a good job of sticking the In Good Taste paper on to this. A lot of people, when I do events, will ask if the foil sheet is like a sticker paper, and they try and pull off the backside thinking that they can pull off a sticker. It feels kind of like it might be that way, but it is not, and so you'll need your adhesive on there for that. So I'm just going to put that kind of centered like so. And then before I put this on, then I am going to put some ribbon on. So in the holiday catalog, there is a basket weave metallic combo metallic combo pack. And so a couple weeks ago, I made a gorgeous card. I thought it turned out gorgeous, bragging on Tuesday. Shame on me. So with this mint macaron color, and so the other ribbon in that pack is kind of a nice shimmery copper. Ooh, the camera's picking that up really good. So hi Lois. So I'm just going to use this, and this is not terribly thick, but kind of a thicker ribbon, which makes it really nice and easy to tie and work with. So I just kind of leave it on my spool, release a little bit, and then I'm just going to tuck that under. No fancy bows again today, just another knot like usual. And it's the 1/8 inch. So sometimes if this like tends to maybe curl up on you, you can just take and put a little glue dot underneath there too if you don't like the way it is laying. I'm gonna see how I like it when mine's done here. Yeah, actually I think I am going to take a little glue dot. So easy enough to take that right off my glue dot and then tuck it kind of like right in front of the knot, because that's where you're gonna want it to lay flat. And then that looks a lot more professional to have that looking nice and straight. And now I can put that on there. I didn't want to put it on because you can't wrap a ribbon around there and tie it, or you're going to tie your card shut. So I know that's something that we get kind of worked up or ahead of ourselves when we're making cards, and it's an easy thing to forget to put that ribbon on first. Okay, so I have this going on there, and I'm loving how these colors come together for fall. And so then the next thing will be putting on my pumpkin, and I'm just going to add just a few dimensionals here from my sheet, about 4 of those, and take the stickers off of those. Whoops. Okay, I was like, where did that back go? Okay, and one more. And we have that we can put right on the card, like so. So it's coming together. And then I have just a couple more things that I want to do because I love the seeds so much. I'm going to go back to the seed stamp and just kind of make a little border across the bottom with that cinnamon cider color. Isn't that cute? Yes, Cheryl, that's so true. And I feel like when we're at like an in-person event, like if somebody's like, and I hear them from across the room, I look at what table they're at, if there's ribbon there, I almost always know like that's what they're frustrated with, is the ribbon. Okay, so this every once in a while doesn't come out. I just give it a little bit of an advance there, and then it, comes right out. So sometimes I'll give it a little bit of a twist to release, and that will help prevent that from happening. But this does work really well for me. So I hope you guys are having success with the new Stampin' Seal if you have invested in that too. So what a fun inside. So for, give thanks and it just being a regular harvest card, you don't want anything too much extra in the inside so you can do your writing. Hi, Becky. Thanks for joining. So then I want to add a little bit of an embellishment, and I've kind of been, saving, holding on. If it's something really good, then I kind of like, don't want to use it up. But these acorn trinkets keep calling my name, and they're pretty sturdy. They're that nice coppery look, so that they'll go well with my card today. So I'm just going to take a little bit of my linen trim here and put that through my acorn. So nice round circle here. You can see, hopefully the camera will pick up that circle right there. I think it's competing with the background, but anyway, it's a nice round circle to put the linen thread through. And of course, now I've got that tacked down pretty tight. I'm gonna take my take your pick tool and feed that through on the other side. Maybe I have it tacked down pretty tight with that glue dot, so maybe I should have done that after, but still working out pretty well. Okay, so I'm just feeding my linen thread through there. I'm gonna give it a nice tight tie, and then making sure that it all goes through and under like so. There we go. Okay, and I'm just gonna cut that a little bit shorter than my copper, because that copper ribbon's so pretty, and I don't want the linen thread to kind of block the view of that too much. So how fun is that for the top to have that little extra acorn embellishment on there? I think those are going to be so fun to use. A little bulky, not terrible. So that is that. Okay, and then just to add something kind of fun. So I've kind of been on this cat kick. If you know me, I love cats. So yesterday I did a pre-cut cat for Angie's first card. And how fun would it be, like for this, the give thanks, if we had like a different cat kind of curled up? Doesn't it almost look like that cat's like curled up on a rug or something? So I thought, well, that's kind of fun. And then we have the lazy stretching cat that I cut out from that same designer series paper from the Pampered Pets series. And so I thought, oh my goodness, if you are a cat lover too, how fun would it be to just add another cat on there? But I did a cat yesterday, so I don't want to overdo, and I feel like a lot of my Halloween cards, I've been adding different cats to it, but I thought, oh, I have to show you, because these were sitting on my desk, and I thought it just kind of went together in a fun way. So that is all for the card, the outside and the inside there. So I can't think of any other notes because sometimes I have like cats and extra things like that laying around, and then I forget to tell you about it, and then my video's done, and then like my excitement's only with myself now after the fact. Okay, let me get this moved around. So I hope you've enjoyed some inspiration on a Tuesday afternoon, and my numbers seem a little higher today for people joining in, so maybe this 5 o'clock time might be better. Maybe some of you are off work, or maybe I just got lucky. Sometimes that happens too. So I've just had some busy days, and my garden's kind of going crazy, and so I don't want to appear all hot and sweaty when I come in to do my videos and such too. So I try and kind of space that out, get my shower in. So I could do videos, I guess, just with my hands. A lot of people do that. I might have to resort to that during harvest if I get too busy and I'm looking a little rough or something. But for you guys, I think it's fun. I feel like I'm actually checking in with you and seeing you if I can see myself in the camera too a little bit. But so today, card number 2 for Angie here. And then thank you, Robin. It was kind of fun. Like I said, I love putting together fall cards. And if you order through Angie's Party, you get the 3 cards I'm making yesterday, today, and the one that I've got in my head for tomorrow, and that'll be in the afternoon too. And so if you order, like, you might get this exact card, or you might get just like a shade off of that designer series paper. I might do something different. So you might like your card better, or you might go, oh, that's a fun surprise. So a $25 minimum order using Angie's host code, which I had during the video. And then I'm going to just get this picture taken of the card that I made and post that on this page. And then you can see the card in still, and then the whole list of supplies used to make the card, and then the link to my stores, so that if you just click on that, then everything shows up right there too. So that, I hope, is helpful for you guys. And you guys have been so generous with the hostesses and such that I'm going to be making tons of cards the next few days to get those out as your thank yous from the hostesses and myself. So that's great, because I just plug in my audiobook and I stamp away, and it's like the best time of my day. So that's kind of fun, because I think of you guys as I'm making the cards too. So trying to make the most of COVID with these virtual parties that way too. Thank you, Julie. So yeah, if you have any questions, need help ordering, or wondering about any of the supplies, please let me know. But otherwise, I'll catch you tomorrow, and have a great rest of your evening. Thanks. Bye-bye.